All right, so we want to live life on a whim. The whim of worship, home, education or employment, and media. That these things are ordered with the foundation being proper worship, and then infusing our home life, our education and employment lives, and our media consumption. And we looked at the heart of the people in chapter 17 of Jeremiah and why they were being taken into captivity. We looked at his illustration of the partridge to show how they had been, their wrong worship had led to their wrong living, and that included being unjust and how they were going to be forsaken. And then we looked at the following verses in 12 and 13, how God's glorious throne on high from the beginning, before this kingdom even existed, was his kingdom, and he is our refuge. He is our sanctuary. And all who forsake him will be put to shame, or will be the fool, because they've forsaken the very source of their sustenance, the river of the living fountain of living water. Even the Lord himself is the fountain. And I wanted to call our attention to another place where this is written, or maybe referenced, in John 4, the woman at the well. She asks, well, here we go. Jesus answered and said to her, "If you knew the gift of God and who it is who says to you, 'Give me a drink,' you would have asked him, and he would have given you living water." So is Jesus himself the living water? Is he saying that he is the way to the living water? At least, we can at least say that. That no one comes to the Father but through him. No one comes to this living water but through him. So he's saying he would have given you living water. Let me proceed. The woman who said to him, the woman said to him, "Sir, I perceive that you are a prophet. Our fathers worshipped in this mountain, and you people say that in Jerusalem is the place where men ought to worship." Jesus said to her, "Woman, believe me, an hour is coming when neither in this mountain nor in Jerusalem will you worship the Father. An hour is coming, and now is, when the true worshipers will worship the Father in spirit and truth. For such people the Father seeks to be his worshipers. God is spirit, and those who worship him must worship in spirit and truth." So not on this mountain, nor in Jerusalem, but in spirit and truth. A glorious throne on high from the beginning. That's the place. That's where our sanctuary is. Those who turn away on earth will be written down because they have forsaken the fountain of living water, even the Lord. Okay. So, are we going to worship in spirit and in truth? Or are we going to try and pass off both worship and this life as something that we can just grasp and define ourselves? I can worship however I want, wherever I can just do it my way, without a seriousness of the sacredness of it. I can live however I want because I'm being informed by how I have chosen and defined worship. Or do we try to pass these things off on our own, or do we have a humble heart, recognize and say, "Heal me, Lord, and I will be healed. Save me, and I will be saved. You are the great physician. My heart is desperately sick, and I need you." And choose the life transformed by a whim to worship. And how, right? This is the foundation that needs to be protected above everything else, because without that, everything else crumbles. The foundation impacts everything built upon it. So we need to be careful to remove anything or modify anything that would erode our worship in spirit and truth of the true Lord. So spirit, genuine, love, adoration, thankfulness, praise, yearning for our Father. Recognizing that He is that river, our roots reaching out to Him, and in truth, not just a emotion or opinion, but no, how is worshiping, responding to God as He has revealed Himself in His Word. Not forsaking the gathering together of believers, as so many are in the habit of doing, but continually meeting together, learning how He has revealed Himself and meeting Him there. So worship and spirit and truth. And how does that impact the home? How does worship inform what home is? Do we honor our father and mother? Do I love my brothers and sisters? Do we love our siblings? Is worship built in to the daily structure of my home life? If one day, if you or I want to have a family and we expect to lead them in a structure of worship in the home, do you think it's easier to start then or to have it built into my habit now? And not all of us live in a home where our parents are doing that. I understand that. And we still honor our father and mother. We love our brothers and sisters. And we ourselves can seek God and make it a daily habit to have worship as an integral part of our home life. Education or employment in your career, depending on where you're at in life. How does worship inform that? Well, do we recognize competing truth claims, assumptions about what life is all about, competing authorities in our life? And do we recognize that this could be an area of particular threat to the truth of worshiping the Father in spirit and in truth? So if this is, we need to be as wise as serpent and innocent as doves. So that might be the defense. The offense is through our education and through our employment. See these as opportunities for worship to flourish, for worship to, fruit of it to come out here, that we then serve others as we would serve Christ. Like that passage in Matthew, where did we see you hungry and give you food, thirsty and give you something to drink, naked and clothe you? Whatsoever you do unto the least of these, you did unto me. In our schoolwork and our labors and our employment, the opportunities we have to rub up against other people, are we serving them as part of our worship, pointing them to Christ with our life and our words? Media. How does worship inform our consumption of media? This could be a threat to the Spirit, worshiping the Father in spirit and in truth. Does this dilute, distort, distract from worship in spirit and truth? Does it portray or entertain lies that would lead our hearts astray? Lord, let me set no unclean thing before my eyes. So are we trying to pass off worship in our lives as something of our own to do whatever we want with? Or are we going to worship the Father in spirit and truth? Come to the fountain of living water, the Lord, through Jesus Christ, who offers it to us freely. And live on the whim with worship and spirit and truth as a foundation for our home lives, our education and employment experience, and our media, our time in media. So I pray you may be active in the sharing of your faith, so that we may come to full understanding of every good thing that we have in Christ. And I will catch you all again on the next video.